Welcome everyone to Haven of Horror. As always, I am subject. I have Robert and Noah. I don't have any clever nicknames because I don't remember this movie enough to come up with any. How's it going, guys? I mute myself in Discord. How's it going, guys?
Oh, good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Hell yeah. I don't have any clever nicknames because I don't remember any of the characters in this movie well enough. Not because it's a bad movie, but because I've seen it like twice, if that. Have you guys seen this a lot?
Only a few times. What's funny, I mean, besides Colin Cochran, there are people like Tom Adkins. I just call Tom Adkins. I don't remember what his character's name is, but that's him in every movie. He's just always Tom Adkins.
I was gonna say, could I be Tom Adkins' mustache specifically?
So, but how does that go with Tom Adkins' ass?
Oh no!
It's like a bunch of people that are different body parts of Tom Adkins.
He's on the opposite side, so I don't need to worry about that.
So anyway, before we get any further, we're here doing Halloween 3. Here's my Scream Factory release. So, as anybody that knows, Scream Factory released the first 5 at first, which was odd, but did custom artwork. And like, this is the only one that got good artwork, because the others are just like crappy pictures of Michael in weird poses.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing is that the Halloween 5 one is like an authentic one, to the fact that it kept the crappy mask for that movie in the artwork.
Yeah, and that is the worst cover of what I've seen of those.
Yeah, I haven't seen 6 through 8 because that's in a box set. I'm not even sure why I bought the first 5 when I like 2 of them, but I'm debating getting the others because completion. But it does come with the original artwork. It's one of the only 4Ks I've seen that does that.
Cool. Yeah, it's a great poster.
Now I can't get it.
I like the reversible covers.
Love reversible covers. Can't get it back in there. God damn it. So this is not my favorite Halloween sequel, but it's in the top 3.
Not a lot of competition.
Yeah, exactly. Halloween isn't the strongest franchise out of the big 3 slashers.
If Halloween 2018 didn't exist, this would probably be my favorite Halloween sequel.
2018 is probably also my favorite, but this is the second best, I'd say.
Yeah. It's hard because I like the remake more than you, at least more than Noah, and I would put that above this. But I don't know if that counts as a sequel because it's a remake. But of the Halloween franchise
conversation,
this is one of the best ones. Which is funny because obviously everybody hated this when it came out, and I will say to my dying day, their mistake was making this the 3rd one. This should have been Halloween 2. You set the proper expectations.
Or they just should have called it Halloween Season of the Witch. Don't put a number in front of it.
That too, yeah. Because by the time you get to 3, your second movie is another Myers movie. People have expectations, and I think that's fair. Mm-hmm. If I'd been alive in the 80s and I went to see Halloween 3, I'd been pissed if this is what I got. Noah, you just saw this recently, yes? Like for the first time?
I mean, fairly recently, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. I've only seen this one time, so I'm not super familiar with it, but I've always wanted to watch it. It's always been a curiosity of mine for the mere fact that it is the one without Michael Myers, and that this was supposed to be the anthology series, which I think is the direction they should have went with. Like you said, the second movie should have been this, and it shouldn't have been called Halloween 2. Yeah, that is such just like a missed opportunity for this franchise. I think this would have been a really unique horror franchise if it was just every movie a different story.
Yeah, because I mean, I like the first Halloween well enough. It wouldn't make my top 10 horror films at this point. But and you know, I mean, I'm more inclined to slashers. Michael is the lamest of the slashers because he's a one-trick pony, and he's the only one of them that I could say that about.
Nah.
You disagree?
He's my favorite of the three.
Oh, well, Michael's great sometimes. He just sucks in most of his movies.
Yeah, I mean, when you have maybe two good Michael Myers movies, I don't. I'm just curious, why is he your favorite if there's only maybe two movies with him in it that are good?
Oh, I think we've talked about this a bit. I think he's
Yeah, but I don't think we
fr-
talk about it on camera. Like, we
Okay,
gotta.
no,
I'm on a bit of a time crunch,
yeah,
guys.
Oh,
yeah. Anyway, yeah.
sorry. All right, is everybody at timestamp 0? Because Robert decided
Yes.
to make plans on Halloween when he runs a horror channel.
It's Halloween.
Well, it's also
I haven't even
Halloween.
been here a year.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Bring logic into this. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go.
A universal picture.
Robert's like, no more preamble. God. For a brief second there, I thought it was going to be the Orion logo, and I was really confused.
I mean, I think I just for the previous conversation, I think I talk about why Michael's my favorite in our subscriber special stream.
Oh, maybe.
So you can go
So maybe I
go
just
back and
forgot.
watch that. Yep,
No, it's like,
because
I
you
just
never
want to
pay
talk about
attention,
it,
John.
please. I mean, I don't. When it's the wrong opinion.
Ooh. Hard disagree.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's again, it depends on what movies you're comparing. Like I personally wouldn't say that Jason for me is on Michael's level until like part 4.
Yeah, but I mean, then that's. And to your point, though, that gets tricky then because you compare like part 2 Jason to part 1 Michael. You compare
Mhm.
part 6 Jason to part 1 Michael.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
right off the bat, I think something else that's going to alienate people who love the first two movies. There's no iconic score from John Carpenter in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get the main theme, but I do like the music in this a lot.
I was going to ask, what do you guys think of the score for this? Because I really dig it.
I do too. It stands out.
Don't have a thought. But I will. I hate to do this, but my dinner's here. I will be right back.
Okay.
Good.
We're professional. Okay.
That's
I guess
very
I
good.
forgot that Carpenter did do the music for this too. I can kind of hear that. This I don't remember the entire score, but at least this theme, it stands out because it sounds a lot more synthy, a lot more electronic than the original Halloween theme.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I mean, this sounds a lot more like 80s to me than the original Halloween theme. Uh, and I think that makes a lot of sense for the story it's telling too, since it's more about like toys.
Well, and I think the music and that atmosphere in this I find very similar to The Fog. And I've recently had this realization of if you literally the only thing you changed about The Fog was just said it was set on a Halloween, that would fit like perfectly with these first 3 movies and that
Yeah,
Halloween anthology. Just the tone, the vibe, spooky ghost story. Like it feels like kind of almost an alternative. Like, hey, here's what another Halloween anthology film could have
could have been.
looked like.
Oh yeah, that would have. See, now you're making me really wish that they did that, and they didn't. Those damn producers wanted Michael to come back for the second one.
No, but this one to me, this one and the original do make for a great double feature for just completely different stories, but for the similar vibes.
Yeah, and you got Dean Cundey back doing the
Mhm.
cinematography, so definitely carries that vibe over. And I mean, like I was saying, like it's still a very Carpenter soundtrack, but this to me immediately sounds a lot more like electronic than the original.
And
Or at least more like stereotypically 80s for the soundtrack that I think of at the time.
you in terms of this relation to the other sequels, I go back and forth between this and 2018 because I like both a lot. And it's hard to give 2018 a ton of credit when it's doing that soft reboot thing where so much of that movie is just the first one again. So it kind of feels almost unfair to call that the best sequel, especially when it's after so many bad ones. And it's like, well, it's just taking what
Yeah.
worked and what looking at what didn't in the other movies. This movie just gets those extra points of being so original and unique.
Yeah, and I don't think this movie is without its flaws. We
Mhm.
can get into that as we go, but it is. I do respect it for being the most unique and standing out amongst all the other movies.
And it depends. A big factor is what you are bringing it to it, right? Like what you want. Because if you want something that's scarier, more intense, then I can understand Halloween 2018 or even Rob Zombie's Halloween being more your jam. If you're wanting something more disturbing, this is more goofy. So tone is certainly
Yeah.
a factor, and
Although,
personal sensibilities.
I mean, I'd say that there's some pretty disturbing moments in this movie.
There are. But I feel like this is a much scarier movie if you see this when you're a kid. Like this falls into that.
I
Perhaps,
also,
yeah.
like you said, the sensibilities. I give it to 2018 because that's a slasher, and you know me, I love my slashers.
Mhm. But like the scene we're talking over right now with this henchman, who we will find out later is a robot, like it's really goofy. Like this isn't
Yeah.
scary.
Well, and that's the other thing about this movie is it's a lot more upfront with its more like sci-fi or like genre aspects, whereas a lot of that stuff in the original, there's some like supernatural-ish hints to it, but it's all under the surface. It's mostly
Mhm.
like a grounded movie,
Rap
whereas
fan, I love the gore in this movie. Oh, sorry.
this is more like straight up supernatural.
And Nubs think this is the three best Halloween.
Yeah, this is both like very supernatural and very sci-fi. Um, which is funny because some of the later films, particularly Halloween 6, also tries to go in a supernatural sci-fi direction, but that one doesn't work.
And I still haven't seen that.
It's
Oh,
bad.
we gotta show that to him at some point.
Uh,
Hey, look, a piece
good,
of Stonehenge was stolen. I'm
good
sure
thing
that's
I'm
irrelevant.
leaving. I'm leaving after this, so you don't have to show me Halloween 6.
We'll get to it.
John, your face is like really out of camera.
I'm keeping my mouth down below because I'm eating.
That's fair. But no, earlier we were talking about like our first time watching this movie. So you said you watched this for the first time recently.
This
So
fucking song.
it's so
Here it
good.
is.
It's great. Okay,
Television.
it's just London Bridge is falling down, but dang it, it's catchy.
It well, and it also plays multiple times during the movie, so they really drill it into your head.
Mhm. But
Yeah, I watched this a few years ago, like 3-ish years ago, just because I think my initial goal was to just watch all the movies in this franchise I hadn't seen yet.
Good job on
I
that
think
one.
it was, yeah, I know, I didn't fit, I didn't get there, but I think it might have been during either when Kills or Ends came out. Probably Kills because I think by the time Ends came out, I had like lost all motivation and like passion to be a completionist for this franchise. And it's not a very good franchise, as
it's
good
not.
as some of the movies are in this series.
Okay, but question for you: What is worse? What is a worse franchise, this or Hellraiser?
I can't judge because I've only seen like 2 Hellraiser sequels and the
Can't wait to show
reboot.
those to you. Noah's like entire life is like flashing before his eyes right now.
Yeah, I can't judge because I haven't seen any of those past the first one, but at least based on reputation, I think it's at least fair to say that Halloween has more of a quantity of okay to good ones. than Hellraiser. So based on reputation, I'd probably say Halloween, but I can't say.
Considering that Halloween doesn't really go to direct to DVD except for one film, and it's not a bunch of scripts that they retroactively shoved Pinhead into, I'm more inclined to agree that Halloween is the better franchise.
But this is also a franchise that's kind of obnoxious to discuss with people. Where to me, this more than any other slasher franchise is like where you see people who are like, "Well, this is the one I grew up with, therefore it's great." I think you see that with this. Like, I grew up with Halloween 4, which means that movie's amazing. I grew up with H2O, which means that movie's amazing. I see that. So I grew up with Resurrection, and I think that movie's amazing.
They're all doing their best
It's-
Chris Stuckman impressions.
Everybody grew up with these movies, but
I grew up with it.
But like, it's just this weird thing where I rarely see nuance when I never see people like, I like this one as a kid, but now I'm kind of like, whatever. It has its moments. No, it's like, fuck you, Halloween 4 is great, and shut up if you don't like it.
Well,
I see that so much with this franchise.
I mean, I don't disagree. I think every movie in this franchise has that.
Even Halloween Ends.
Even Halloween Ends, and even Halloween 2, which, like, I guess is one of the better sequels, and it gets a lot of points for, Donald Pleasance and Dean Cundy, but I still think it's a big step down from that first one.
Teddy says, to be fair,
I enjoy it.
Anyone say Resurrection is amazing?
Oh, they exist, my friend.
Austin says it's amazing.
I mean, I like Resurrection, but not in a so bad it's good way.
Yeah, that's understandable.
My hot take is Halloween 4 is better than Halloween 2.
I don't know if I
agree
can
with
go
that.
far. But again, there's good stuff in it.
Halloween 2 is just so boring.
It is pretty slow.
It wants to be a slasher, but it can't commit, and it still wants to be like the tense, slow thriller that the first movie was.
It works for me, to quote Robert.
But it's not as well made as the first one.
It's not.
But so Noah, when you watch this, so like, did this already have kind of a cult following? Like, was that the reputation you remember hearing going into this of, people like this movie now because it's weird and different? Because for the longest time, all you hear is, Halloween 3 sucks. There's no Michael Myers. And what I heard more than that was just, well, that one kill scene is amazing, and we'll get to it. But I didn't really see it like a cult reputation was built until like the last 5 years.
No, I feel like it's only recently been reevaluated. So I didn't watch any of these until I think until the Blumhouse movies happened. No, sorry, I didn't see any of these until the Rob Zombie version. That's the first one I saw, and I think that's why I like that film so much. But I always avoided 3 because I heard it was like a Friday the 13th Part 5 situation, which I've kind of turned around on. It's not one of my favorites, but it has its moments. But now people are like, that was actually not that bad.
Yeah,
and I think
when
has something to do with
that. When I first hear about this movie, I think it does have that more negative reputation of this is the bad one. It doesn't have Michael Myers. Like, it's just weird. And then over the last 5 or so years, it gains more of a cult following. And I think at that point, when I watched it, it had already had that cult following. So so I was always curious about watching it. It's not like I avoided it or anything. It's just kind of like a lot of these slasher franchises weren't really on my radar until
corrupted Noah's mind.
Yeah, until John.
It made him watch all the Nightmare movies. I made him watch all the Saw movies.
I did that on my own. we watched all the Chucky movies together, but I chose to watch all the Nightmare movies.
But I'm the one that made you watch Nightmare 6.
And I'll never forgive you.
That's okay. That's like 50% of a good movie.
Yeah,
I'll have to watch it again. I don't remember.
And it's still better than Nightmare 2.
it's not. This kill's great. What a way to go.
Oh no.
Damn. This is very
Yeah.
Giallo with the
Mhm.
gloves.
And yeah, the first time I watched this movie is probably like 5 or 6 years ago, and I think I went into it with more of that the negative reputation. I mean, some people were like, I kind of like it, or it has that amazing kill scene with the TV. But so I think my first viewing this, I'm a bit more mixed on it, where I'm watching it with more of a critical lens. And then I start to see it being reevaluated, reappraised. And I revisit it a few years later and have a much better viewing of it. Because, like you said, talking to me earlier, Noah, but this is a very flawed movie, but it's fallen into that category movie where its flaws are part of the charm for me. Like, if you're going into this
Okay.
wanting something really scary and intense, you're not gonna get that here. I can understand somebody watching this and going, "Oh, that wasn't scary. That movie sucked," but it just depends on the mindset you're in or what you're in the mood for. There is a charm and tone to this movie that I really like. That's just not for everybody.
Yeah, and I feel like I went into this with the best possible mindset for viewing. I don't care about Halloween.
Mhm.
I like that first one fine. I respect it more than I like it. I like 2018 a lot. I like Rob Zombie's Halloween because it kind of brings that material into something more that I appreciate more. Uh, so I don't hold Michael Myers up as like the holy grail of slashers. So I was fine with no Michael Myers. Um, I still think this movie's like it's good, but it's not amazing. I don't think it's terrible. It's just yeah, it exists. It's got a really good song.
It does.
And I do kind of wish I'd seen Halloween when I was younger, just because my taste in those kind of slashers has already been so set in stone that
Mhm.
sometimes it is hard for me to appreciate. However, the thing I will give the original Halloween forever is that third act might be one of the greatest like sequences in all of horror.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
And it also helps that I didn't watch this until I got the Scream Factory release.
That's true. And I rewatched this just a few weeks ago, so this one's. I was glad that this won the poll. This is pretty fresh in my mind.
I watched the original Halloween last night.
Oh, cool.
It's a pretty good movie if you can believe it. I'm really
It's
excited when we land on that one for the remake and original.
Yeah, that'll be a fun discussion.
I won't be there.
Not a protest.
Wow, you're just mad because the remake is better.
And that's a conversation you'll get into for a different video.
For anyone who doesn't know, I don't actually think the remake is better. I'm just being a dick. I do like the remake.
Because jokes are always funnier when you explain them.
Teddy, I miss when masks were acceptable horror villains.
Let's make masks great again.
That's a and I've heard some people say, "Oh, I don't buy the premise of this movie. I don't buy that those masks were popular." I fundamentally disagree because it's all about marketing. You can sell fucking anything to children and say,
Yeah,
"Oh, this is cool. This is
with,
big." like,
with all due
like, I
Especially
love
respect,
at the
that.
it
time.
feels like when people say that they're missing the point of the movie.
Mhm.
But I find that a lot, especially with modern criticism. We are so cinema sinned that we're missing
Yes.
what the actual movie is trying to do.
Yeah. And this is a movie you could put a lot of cinema sin dings on, but Like, who cares?
Michael's not
It's
in it.
just a
Ding.
ride. Yeah.
Remember when we made movies that didn't worry about YouTube?
Yeah.
Those were good times.
It's like, oh, this
Now we're-
movie's stupid? Fuck yeah, it is.
Now we're making movies based on Reddit.
That's true.
We are.
Like, literally.
But of the Halloween masks in this, cleverly called the Halloween 3, which one is your guys' favorite? Which one would you have bought if you were a child?
The pumpkin one.
The skull.
Yeah, I'm going pumpkin too.
I thought you were gonna choose the other one just so we could all have
No,
different.
no, I feel like no one likes the witch one, even though she's
Nah.
in the title.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the namesake of the movie.
The
not called
pumpkin
Season-
skull one's so cooler.
It's not called Season of the Pumpkin.
It should be.
Now, to be fair, I've only seen this movie once, but from what I remember, Season of the Witch doesn't really have a whole lot of relevance to like what happens in the movie. It seems kind of
kinda
Isn't
does.
the
disconnected
villain's like a
title.
warlock or something?
Well, he's all about like, well, I want to get back to what Halloween used to be, which was about sacrifices and blood, and
Okay,
all that stuff. So kinda.
kind of, sorta, if you squint. I mean, it's a cool title. To be fair.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm jumping way ahead, but just for an example, it's like, how did they get the piece of Stonehenge? And they just kind of waved it off. It's like CinemaSins, ding, and I'm like, who cares?
Oh, so I
Just
guarantee you,
That's an example,
because CinemaSins has probably done this movie, right?
probably.
I guarantee you that is one of their sins.
Mhm. It's like, yes, I need a 5-minute scene
Yeah.
showing them how they stole a piece of Stonehenge. Then it's a better movie.
I swear to God, if it was up to the internet, movies would be like 6 hours long because you have to explain every
yes.
minute detail.
Yep.
The first Rob Zombie movie is fine. I'm just so not a Rob Zombie guy.
That's fair.
But I have this thing with Rob Zombie where I think something in Halloween 2 legitimately broke him because we know like
Oh my
the
God.
Weinsteins fucked him over badly. The
Mhm.
man has not made a good movie since.
It is really funny that the idea that this is the more heightened sci-fi movie, but Halloween is a movie that exists in this universe.
Yeah, who says Michael isn't in this movie? I just saw him.
Oh
I
yeah,
just
for
saw
2
Michael
seconds.
Myers.
So, as a kid, I was a big Digimon fan, and the third season of Digimon is the first one that's not connected, because in that the show Digimon that we watched is also a show and like the trading card game. As a kid, that pissed me off. So I understand what the people in the '80s were going through. I've come around on that season. It's scary for what it is.
Yeah, to your point, Noah, making Halloween like a fictional movie within the movie is a weird choice, just because it would make you think, oh, that means that this is more grounded and realistic when it's the complete opposite. But I think it's just kind of a cute, like,
Yeah.
hey, and I feel like it's their
It's
way
a
of letting the audience know this isn't canon with those.
Well, it's
think that's the
fun
purpose.
it's a fun reference. It's just funny because you'd think it'd be the other way around. Like this is
Right.
the
What I like about
more
that
crazy
is
movie
that
to
in
exist
this
in that
according to this
universe.
movie, movies are make more sense than real life. And isn't that always
Yes.
just the truth?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I think something else that people might ding is the relationship between these two.
That's a genuine problem. We'll get to it.
That is a genuine problem. Look at the age gap.
Oh my god. No,
Would you-
he is like
would you
25 years older than her.
I mean, would you consider Tom Atkins a ladies' man in this?
He
He's
was
just
in the
kinda
early
some
80s,
guy.
I guess.
But in this movie, he's just kind of some schlub.
Not according to
Okay, so
the
she's
women in
over
this
18. She's over 18, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, just 'cause
Yeah.
the way you're talking about it, I thought that's what the problem was.
No, okay, well, I was gonna say this later. The problem is they have sex and then he asks her, wait, how old are you?
Oh, yeah, that's a
Like,
problem.
it's a little late for that, dude.
But you know what? I've seen Transformers 4. At
That's
least he
true.
is actually
That's true.
After
uh,
they sleep together, he pulls out the card from
yeah.
Transformers 4.
And The Purge has a weirdly similar storyline, but it has a
Ugh.
way more insane
Oh,
ending.
Oh,
So
I
right,
think you
right, yeah.
mentioned that. Yeah.
yeah, so the boyfriend wants to, I think, get married or something to his underage girlfriend. And his plan is to sneak into their house during the purge and murder her father, who won't agree. What? Teddy, I like this movie just because it feels like an adult episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Not Goosebumps specifically. Are You Afraid of the Dark? I've never seen Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
never seen
this
either of those shows.
this has like a very Goosebumps for adults kind of feel.
Robert, we should do some episodes of the original Goosebumps at some point. I don't know if you've seen any of that.
Not many. That could be fun.
I've not seen a lot of the show, but I read those books religiously.
I think I read just one or two. It's something I always thought like looked cool. I just never like actually got into
I
it
was
or watched
talking to
much of it.
this about this with my buddy when we were watching Zombie Island, and I think we might have talked about it a little bit. It really sucks that kids don't have a gateway horror anymore. Because I don't
Hmm.
know if I'd become a horror fan without Goosebumps and Scooby Doo and
Well, maybe they do. We just don't know yet. Like, to be fair, I'm not paying attention to a lot of kids' content that's coming out now.
yeah.
I'm
But
sure.
if they do, if there is something, I feel like we would have just heard about it through osmosis.
I'm sure Disney's Haunted Mansion remake brought in a whole new generation
yeah.
of
Well, then their
kids into
Goosebumps
horror.
remake with
Two
Ross
kids.
Geller in it, of all people. I'm gonna
That
have to
throws
watch
me
it at
off
some
because
point.
didn't the first season have Justin Long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
look similar.
it was really funny because they're John, you probably didn't watch this, but lately James A. Janice on Dead Meat's been doing like weekly like horror updates, like horror news and stuff. And he talked about like Goosebumps season 2, which stars David Schwimmer, and pulled up a poster, and he was like, "Oh, cool, David Schwimmer." And everyone in the live chat was like, "No, it's Justin Long," and he's like, "Fucking what?" Like the whole live chat was
It's
trying to
literally
gaslight him
David Schwimmer
for like 5 minutes, but not on purpose. I think people just didn't know that we were switching out Justin Long with David Schwimmer because.
Are they playing the same character?
No, but he's just the new
Is that going to be
lead.
an anthology season by season?
I think
I know
that's
there
what
was
they're
a
doing,
big
which is
deal with
weird.
like the first season was going to be one story.
Yeah, but I think season 2 is doing the same. So I guess that's what they're doing. Is each season's an anthology season? Like, come on, just
I mean, maybe
come
that
on.
show is good. I don't know. Maybe that show's good. I have no idea. I haven't heard anything about it, but I think that's the wrong approach for Goosebumps.
No,
That
it
needs
should
to
be
be.
episodic. Like each episode is a
Yeah.
I
book.
agree.
Those books aren't long enough to stretch into an entire season.
And
Teddy,
this is
Teddy
a
says
property.
Haunted Mask is the best episode of Goosebumps. You are wrong, sir. The best episode of Goosebumps is Werewolf from Fever Swamp. Or Night of the Living Dummy 3 that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Also, as nostalgic as people are for that Goosebumps show, that's not a show a lot of people are gonna say you can't improve upon. You absolutely can.
It's a cheesy 90s kid show.
Yeah, you can do it better.
Although it has one of the best themes.
Oh, absolutely. And I never watched those Jack Black Goosebumps movies, but I heard those were fun for what they are. I heard those were fun.
Hate those.
I think the
okay, I haven't
first
seen
one.
The second one. The first one does not understand Goosebumps, and it just turns it into a dumb kids comedy, and I hated it.
Oh, I think a lot of people like the first one. I think most people turn on the second one though. I haven't seen either of them.
So I didn't watch the second one.
Okay. I mean, it would be cool to see Goosebumps come back in the original format. I just want to see a lot of anthology shows come back, honestly. Like, give us a modern Tales from the Crypt.
The newer Creep Show is pretty good. I've seen the first couple seasons. It's just super hit or miss. Like, there's some great episodes and some terrible episodes.
I watched the first episode because they told me Tobin Bell was going to be in it, and then he's in it for like 2 seconds. Like, oh. Teddy, I'll give. Okay, to be fair, Teddy, I'm also going off like 20-year-old memories, but I loved Werewolf of Beaver Swamp as a kid. And Night of the Living Dummy, I think it was the third one, legitimately gave me nightmares for a week.
Is that the Hayden Christensen one?
Actually, it might be.
Oh, he was in that
I know
show.
he's in one of those.
He's
Yeah.
also in The Mouth of Madness.
Oh, cool.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen that movie and I don't remember him.
He's the little kid on the bicycle.
That is a movie that I seriously need to watch again because I don't remember a lot about it when we watched it.
I'm sure this family is gonna be okay.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
The movie does a really good
misspelled
job.
Good Goosebumps because I was typing too fast, and I got good, and the first thing that popped up is Hayden Christensen's actually a good actor.
Hey,
He
don't
is
laugh at that. He's not a bad actor.
I don't hate him in episode 3. I think he's much better than in
No.
episode 2.
I think this is a Star Wars podcast now, but I've always said the problem with his performance in those movies is the direction, not
Right.
him.
When Samuel L. Jackson isn't great in your movies, you know you're doing something wrong. You can't pin it all on Hayden and the other actors.
It's because George Lucas can't write natural dialogue.
So I don't know
Yeah.
if it's the one that I watched, but I just sent you guys a photo. He is in one of the dummy episodes.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't remember which one.
Oh, there he is.
That is one thing I'll give that Goosebumps movie. Like, it makes Slappy like the main villain, which is cool.
And he's also played by Jack Black.
One thing, as much as I would want a Goosebumps show with the original episodic format, kind of accepted that season by season is popular to do anthologies now. But that doesn't work with Goosebumps.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say.
what everybody's doing.
I like a lot of the anthologies that are season-long anthologies, like Fargo and True Detective, but I don't. Those are telling longer stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Goosebumps stories are like 150 pages.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it goes into the idea of the horror short story, which is, a thing that's been all around for a long time, and it's not really a thing anymore, from what I've seen.
I've heard that Jamie Lee Curtis is the voice of this lady on the intercom, but I've also heard that disputed, so I don't know.
It sounds like her.
Yeah, we also talked over Nancy Loomis, who played Annie in the first one, plays Tom Atkins' ex-wife in this. So that's
I thought I recognized
carryover.
I thought that was her, but she looks a little different.
Teddy, I'm gonna complain because that's all I can do. So Robert, tell us about that Funko that you've got back there.
Oh yeah, that's my blacklight Michael Myers with this weird gaudy color scheme.
I was gonna say, like, I could tell it's like Michael. What the hell's wrong with him?
Yeah, I also have a Chucky one that's like bright orange and yellow. It looks really cool.
How half-assed that is. Like, the mask is just kind of awkwardly put on the front of his face.
Yeah, well, that's a repaint of like one of the older Funko Pops, so like that's why it's kind of shitty. Before they put more effort into detail. But what I was gonna say, Noah, was Nancy Loomis probably looks different because she's not pretending to be a high schooler in this.
You know what? Good point. And
she's actually dressed her age.
What year does this come out?
That's a good question.
80.
I like how it's
so it's like 4 years later.
Neither of you knew it.
I was busy talking.
But also, to my point, I watched The Fog recently, and I recognized her in that. So.
Oh, there you go.
Didn't recognize her in this.
He aged really fast between the Halloween 1 and this.
It's also because she's like 30 in Halloween 1.
If they do make a sequel to this, I was thinking about this because we talked about this the other day. They should take the Final Fantasy naming scheme. Halloween 3-2.
How 3-2
Oh no.
season of the Warlock.
Yeah, that's another thing we could talk about is because we're done with Michael Myers. People are kind of sick of it. The
Here's the thing.
rights. Who knows what they're gonna do with the TV? But people are like, they should do a season of the Witch show or a season of the Witch sequel. It's like, no, leave it alone. It's cool because it's unique.
Yeah. Well, I think
It's
back
just
in our Halloween Ends review, I said that they should go back to doing an anthology approach to the series.
Yep.
I don't think that's what they will do at all, but
right.
is that something you guys like to see?
The people that are saying Halloween 3 sequel, I think they just mean another anthology movie.
No,
Oh.
no, I've seen both. I've seen people say both. Yeah. Like people are like, let's go back to Season of the Witch. It's like, no.
I'm torn because like I do think Michael is a one-trick pony, but also we need more slasher movies.
That's true, but this isn't like really a slasher movie. I don't even want to like dignify it with a thought exercise, of like, well, how would I do a sequel to this? Jump decades later,
No,
all
he
these
asked, would
kids
we
are
want to see
killed.
another anthology movie or another Michael movie? So I said, well, we probably better to be an anthology film, but at the same time, like, I don't know, there's something I love it.
Yeah, but
slasher
we're ready for a new Jason movie. We're ready for a new Freddy movie. We can give Michael a break.
Plus, we got Terrifier for newer slashers.
We do have Terrifier.
Yeah.
We do have Mr. Terrifier.
But I'm just realistic. Like, it's going to be another Michael movie. They've already confirmed that.
I mean, I love Michael, but there is only so much you can do with that character. I will give you that.
Which is funny because 2 years ago, before Ends, I would have said with that concept of the character where he's just evil, just give me a series of films where he just goes from town to town, like, and just to stop moving. You don't know where he's going, you don't know why. Just a rampage through multiple cities. Now it's like, yeah. Ends killed
just took that guy's mask off.
I mean, look, there's Dick Warlock. Halloween 2's Michael Myers is right there. He just killed that guy.
No, he just took his mask off.
Oh my god, at the Bates Motel?
Yes.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Vince Vaughn is going to pop out of the back room.
Oh, no.
Eating candy corn.
Don't incept that into my brain. A Season of the Witch sequel, Vince Vaughn as Colin Cochran. Oh, no.
No, it'll be Vince Vaughn's Norman Bates, and then Michael will come out of the TV and check in at the Bates Motel, and then they'll fight.
Michael versus Norman.
Vince Vaughn will be in that shitty drag costume from the end of the '90s movie, and Michael will be very confused.
And it'll be edited like the stairs scene from that movie.
No worse, it'll be edited like the shower scene where the music doesn't kick in until like halfway through the scene.
Yep.
Oh my god, it's a coin.
I'm sure that's nothing of consequence.
It's your lucky coin.
Your lucky pack.
That's. Can that be how Harvey Dent becomes Two-Faced in this universe? Is he has one of those coins and it blasts him, tears off half his face?
Do it, Matt Reeves.
I like how you said this universe, so specifically this universe.
Yes. Yeah, Harvey Dent can be here.
He's the one that'll prosecute Vince Vaughn's Two-Face. Or
I think
Norman Bates.
Vince Vaughn's Two-Face. He can play Two-Face. I do think Batman would absolutely exist in this universe.
Oh, yeah. It's not a stretch at all.
Matt Reeves is actually going to quit tomorrow, and Ryan Johnson's going to take over for the Batman 2. and the twist will be that somebody else becomes Two-Face, and then Harvey has to prosecute him, and then Harvey will actually join with him, and there'll be Three-Face.
I thought you were gonna
expectations.
I thought you were gonna suggest that he's playing the man that would later inspire Two-Face. Because in that case, you wouldn't get Ryan
Todd
Johnson. You get Todd Phillips. What would Todd Phillips' Halloween movie be?
Michael takes his mask off at the end, and it's actually Corey. And then young Michael Myers from the first movie stabs Corey, and you realize that he was actually the Michael Myers all along.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that was a dumb question because Halloween Ends probably would have been pretty close to what he'd make.
So we've all known somebody in this situation. You know, you're investigating your father's death, but
Robert's like, I want to talk about this scene. You're investigating your father's death, and then you have sex with a father figure.
It happens. Anyway. Yeah, no, this scenes like this are when the movie just stops.
Yeah, even the movie's like, you don't want to see this.
This is the scene where he's like, "Wait, how old are you?" It's like, dude, that if you have to ask that question, you shouldn't have done it.
Imagine if he asked that question to Jamie Lee Curtis in The Fog. We are spending a lot of time on this.
Which is weird, because this isn't even, like, exploitative, like a Friday movie, or
I just don't care.
I don't know what tone we're going for.
Yeah, I just don't care about this relationship. How old are you?
Yeah, like, either we should have cast her older or just not made this a romance.
Or I'm sure I'm gonna get flagged. Just don't mention it, because I wasn't thinking about it until you mentioned it.
Right, totally. Yeah, because early in the movie they do set up that he's kind of a womanizer. You know, he's divorced. He's flirting with like the nurses and other coworkers and stuff. And like, it's not like too bad. It's just very 80s. It's like, it's whatever. This is when we go too far.
Yeah, with characters like that, I don't assume they're under 18 unless I see them in a high school setting.
Right. We're also in this era used to 30-year-olds playing high schoolers, so you're right. Like, we're not even thinking about that.
Why do we keep cutting to this lady? Is it because she's got this coin?
Because she's investigating.
Oh my god. That was a lightsaber.
Oh. Yeah, she'll be fine.
Fully armed and operational button.
Damn.
Oh, you'll be fine, lady.
That's Where did that come from?
Is this a blind reaction?
I don't remember this.
This scene's great.
You don't remember the bugs?
No.
Yeah, it's set up and paid off.
Yeah, it's paid off later.
The only thing that sticks with me is the ending of this movie, because it's very Carpenter-esque in that ending.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the other reason why they shouldn't make a sequel to this movie. Just put it in there.
Well,
but no,
what you
they
could
can
do,
bring back the jingle.
Yeah, there's Tom Atkins' ass.
Yep, it's right there. At least we get equal opportunity amount of skin shown in this movie.
Now I know what movie that guy named his YouTube.
Of course,
his username after.
No, but what you do is you do a sequel to this that's 40 years later, you know, about the fallout of all those kids getting killed, and you make a movie about community, right? And the importance of community. That's your theme. That's your hook.
It's about family. That's what's so powerful about it.
And Halloween dies tonight.
Now we've become the season of the witch. I bet you're glad that Kills didn't win the poll, Robert.
Oh yeah. No, this is a much better movie. There he is.
It
Colin
is.
Cochran,
There he is.
aka the old man in RoboCop.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think his casting is that kind of unfortunate thing where I just see the RoboCop old man.
Well, fair enough. Yeah.
Especially, specifically the first movie was like, dick.
I always forget the name of that actor, but I love his voice, and I love seeing him and stuff.
Looks like there's two RoboCop actors in this, right? Or is it just him? Is it the guy that plays Dick Jones in this as well?
You
Brian
might be
Cox?
right.
I don't remember.
I don't think I am. I don't see it. Huh. I remember him being in this for some reason.
And I know some people find this movie kind of slow, but I think if you just took out the romance, it would speed it up a little.
Yeah. Oh, by far. That's maybe my weakest. I think is the weakest aspect of the movie is that relationship.
Oh, totally.
We've got little John Doe in the chat who does not like this movie. I'm sorry to hear
Uh-oh.
that.
Yeah, so this movie's not for everybody, but I really like it.
And that's the thing, if they had gone with the anthology direction, is inevitably you'd have one or two movies where that don't work for certain people.
Yeah.
So it's like you wouldn't be able to please everybody. But I think with that you'd still have more variety than what we get in the main series as it is right now.
Yeah, discussing this movie is tricky because you either have some people where it's hated just for not having Michael Myers, and for other people it's loved just for being different. And there should be,
Yeah.
you should approach it with a bit more nuance than that.
I applauded it for being different, as they say in Red Letter Media.
But for me, what stands out is just the weirdness of it.
Yeah.
And
This is
Colin
like a
Cochran's
solid 3
great.
out of 5 movie.
I'd go 3.5 at least.
Okay, commentary over.
Noah's like, can I go home now?
Well, this is a movie that really picks up in the second half. That's where most of the great stuff is. But we have a couple really good kills, and I do like Tom Atkins. He does have charisma.
Yeah, when I watched The Fog, I was like, "Where's his mustache?" Damn it!
The movie does a really good job of making you not like this kid. It doesn't want you to feel bad when the thing happens.
Which is impressive because I already don't like kids.
John takes all the Halloween candy for himself.
Oh,
Screw them kids.
We don't buy any like Halloween candy to give out. Is that what your plans are, Robert? You're gonna go sit on the porch and give people candy?
no.
What are you judging me for, you bastard?
Colin Cochran is not discussed enough as just a really great boss. He's an entrepreneur. You know, he's a really inspiring character in fiction.
Are you from his PR team?
Do you think this movie is why he gets cast in RoboCop?
I'd find that surprising, just given how poorly this movie did at the time. But it's possible that like Verhoeven or somebody working on that like saw this movie and liked it. Like, there's a chance.
I think he's and I'm just assuming because I don't know the rest of his filmography too well. He's probably just typecast as villains a lot.
It's character actor, man.
Yeah.
Did you just call him man?
What?
Who?
I couldn't hear what you just said.
I said, did you just call him man?
Oh, he's man.
I really like this scene getting the behind the scenes on them making the masks. It's a little meta.
It's genuinely pretty cool. I like seeing
kid
how
I
the
loved,
sausage
like,
is
those
made for
making
this kind of
ofs.
stuff.
My favorite
Yeah,
Mr. Rogers bit as a kid was when he'd do like those segments on like making of stuff.
Colin Cochran, he's just a humble toy maker. He is a pure soul.
We'll see what you don't
He's
know. He's actually going to use the funds for this to go start another company. It's going to be a small startup called OCP.
Oh no.
This and RoboCop are in the same universe.
I can buy that. Yeah,
I'd buy
I
it.
can buy that. Detroit becomes the way it is like post this movie.
It becomes a
tracks.
hellscape like a year later.
To be fair, millions of children are dead. That'll fuck up any.
I mean, I've
It'll
seen
fuck
Nightmare
up
on Elm
the
Street
entire
6. It
world.
drove an entire town insane. Wait, so then maybe it wasn't Freddy that killed all those kids. It was this guy.
Oh,
Yeah, they're all connected.
Oh.
Good call. That's
So Nightmare is in this universe too.
Yeah, and that's what
It
actually
tracks,
happened
exact-
to Jason. He didn't drown. He was put on one of those stupid masks.
John, when are we doing the video where we go over the timeline of Halloween 3, Nightmare on Elm Street, Batman, and RoboCop? She doesn't know.
I do. This is a movie that I wish I could watch with somebody who went in completely blind, who didn't know the ending. Because I feel like everyone knows the big scene from this movie. It's one of those.
I don't think I did when I first watched it.
I
Oh, cool.
definitely didn't. I didn't know anything about this movie. When
That was one of the things that shocked me. That was a shocking moment when I first watched this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that was
love
the-
the insane places this goes.
That is the best
I don't
way to
think-
watch it. I told you
Yeah.
guys, but guys, that's what I was saying for the camera. I recently showed Zombie Island to a buddy of mine. He didn't know that the monsters were real, and his reaction was priceless.
That's great. Yeah, that's gonna play as a really cool reveal if you don't know that.
Mhm.
A review too.
A review, yes. I don't even think I knew about the kid death in this.
That
like,
was
with
the thing I
bugs and
knew.
stuff. I didn't know about that. Yeah. So there was a few shocking moments when I first watched this.
That's awesome. But I do really like the sense of dread that this builds up, like the mystery of, like, the fuck's going on? What are they doing?
You know how else I know that? I just thought about this. You know how else I know this is in the same universe as RoboCop? Cyborgs. RoboCop
That's
3
true.
is
Yeah,
a
there you
cyborg
go.
ninja.
No, Colin Cochran is into robotics. Like this all tracks.
So we found the niche that you have to cast this actor for. It's not just villains; it's CEOs
Aesthetic.
of tech corporations.
Robert, you haven't seen RoboCop 3, have you?
No, I haven't seen that one.
He doesn't
for
have
myself.
to.
I've seen parts of it.
I kind of want to make him watch it. Just
He doesn't have to watch RoboCop 3.
could be worse. I could make him watch the remake.
I love that that's the movie. It's like, wait, you haven't seen RoboCop 3?
I mean, that's not even what I said. I just asked because I made a reference to it.
No, I just think that would be a really funny scenario of someone trying to get someone to watch RoboCop 3 of all movies. Because you've seen 2, right, Robert?
Yeah, I've seen
You
the
watched
first
it
two
with
now.
us?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did watch that together.
John, is 3 or the remake scary enough that it qualifies for the channel?
3 is scary in what it does to Ed 209.
Oh.
The remake is scary in that it's bad.
And boring.
Why
That
would
is
you
one thing I
consider
will
the
give
first
3
one?
over the remake is 3 is never boring. 3 is just like, oh, this is like made for babies now.
I just know that
Would you guys review the first one for Haven of Horror?
I think that's stretching it.
Yeah, I mean, it's got some like gore and stuff. I can kind of see it.
Mm-hmm.
it's
I
that
wouldn't call it
tricky
a
thing
horror
because
movie.
like we can all agree that something like Predator counts. How far
Yeah.
removed is RoboCop from Predator? You know what I mean?
Well, Predator is a straight up slasher movie. It's just the roles are reversed. That's where I think the
Yeah.
difference is. RoboCop isn't a slasher.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of that gore and like grindhouse
Mhm.
sensibilities.
They're
that you
both
see.
sci-fi action movies. Oh my god.
We still got to do Prey at some point.
You should.
I'd say the first Terminator absolutely counts for the channel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also a slasher movie. That is the world's most complicated slasher movie.
This is, which makes this like the world's second most complicated slasher movie.
Would you
This isn't a
call this a
slasher,
slasher? I
Not
guess kinda.
really.
I mean, people die.
Number one is
It's a mass murder.
unarguably a slasher movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is this a slasher?
No.
It's more just like a weird sci-fi
Bug's
horror
Life
movie.
a
Yeah, but
slasher movie?
but this has a bunch of Terminators instead of just one.
No, John,
The two Terminator slashings.
A Bug's Life isn't a slasher movie, but Ants is.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's
the
the
real horror
difference.
of A Bug's Life is just watching A Bug's Life.
Oh.
Is this a hot take? I think I prefer Ants over A Bug's
I
Life.
haven't seen Ants in like 20 years. But the last time I watched A Bug's Life, I was like, this kind of sucks.
It does. Neither are good, to be fair. But Ants is the weirder movie.
Doesn't Ants have Stallone?
Yeah. He's like the big
that
buff.
just makes it better. Like,
Woody Allen is a meek, scrawny ant, and he's got a big buff Sylvester Stallone ant friend.
is Woody Allen the main character?
Yeah.
I
That was the
watched
first
movie a
Woody
lot as a
Allen movie.
kid, but I haven't seen it in forever. What an insane cast!
Yeah, Woody Allen is an
So
ant.
Ants had Woody Allen and A Bug's Life had Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
I guess Bug's
Yeah.
Life is the worst of the two by a little bit.
Well, they're both canceled, but
Pick your poison, really.
yeah.
Although, wasn't the Woody Allen thing already known by the 90s?
Yeah.
I don't think it was taken as seriously as it has been.
But that's
in recent
arguably
years.
worse.
Sure.
That you cast him knowing that nobody knew about Spacey yet.
Sure.
Right.
No, they're both bad situations all around.
Let's compare the situation.
Anyway,
Back to this
so
movie.
any other topic?
Really, this has a canceled actor in it.
Do you guys think Tom Atkins is miscast in this, or?
Oh no, I like him a lot in this.
I think he's fine. I don't know if he's miscast. It's just funny that
He's everyman.
the character, like the hero of this movie, is Schlubby Dad.
He's
He's
Schlubby
done a
Dad,
terrible
and John
job.
Carpenter thinks he's Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny, but
That's
not
why I was
necessarily
asking, 'cause, like, I
miscast.
hate him, but also I can't get a read on this character. Is he an action hero? Is he just the guy next door?
I don't know. I think they're going for everyman. He's got a. They're going for kind of a Hitchcock thriller vibe.
Yeah.
You know, like he
There's-
has to do the investigating, figure out what's
And-
going on.
Ordinary man thrown into an
Mhm.
extraordinary situation.
Yeah. The lesson of this movie is just leave it alone. Don't go to a weird place and
Speaking of leaving
Try
things alone, I watched The Substance today. Holy shit!
Yo,
I need to watch that.
Robert,
It's
you
on
gotta watch it.
Mubi.
I don't have movie.
Subscribe to
offer-
movie.
They offer
Yeah.
a 7-day free trial. Just do what I did: sign up, watch the movie, and then cancel.
It's probably a good idea. Oh my god.
I mean, maybe there's some stuff worth watching on Mubi too.
Yeah, but it's like $15 a month.
Oh
Yeah,
Jesus.
there's a lot of streaming services.
Yeah, it's like you had one movie that I want. I can find everything else elsewhere. This is bringing back memories of something. I can't think of what it is now.
While you're thinking of that, though, John, these robots, weirdly enough, kind of, even though they don't exactly look like them, they remind me of those like mannequin guys from Doctor Who. You know, the like the
Yeah.
Autons. Even though they're not mannequins, like they look more like people, but it just reminds me of that.
Remember
And
when
they
they had
bleed
like different
sludge.
colored blood to get around the MPAA?
Well,
They're robots.
yeah, that's robot
Yeah,
juice.
but I think about this, and I think about like Evil Dead, which had like green
Yeah.
blood, black blood, red blood. I just
Yeah, that's why he doesn't.
come back.
That was at least flesh. That was like at least humans. Like
I have always thought that was going for more of like Alien Alien vibe.
I was gonna say,
with
yeah.
the weird
But
fluid.
we do know they've said it outright. It's only like that to avoid like an X rating.
In Alien?
Oh, in the original Alien.
Oh no, in Evil Dead. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like in an Alien where it's weird milk stuff. Oh, that's what I was thinking of when they're fighting off Ash. That's what that reminded me of.
Oh, gotcha.
All it's missing is weird CGI Ian Holm.
No.
Javen, they're made of orange juice.
Oh my god.
That is some unappetizing looking orange
Prototype
juice.
of the bots in Alien. That's another universe that is connected to this movie.
Oh my god. So Predator's in this universe too somehow.
And Blade Runner's in this universe, because Alien and Blade Runner are in the same universe. It never
there's
ends.
that theory. And it's
well,
all taking
Noah,
place in some
the-
kid's snow globe.
The Predators came to this Earth looking for autism, but they couldn't find it, so they left and went to another Earth.
Oh no.
Because all the kids were dead.
Yeah,
They're like, shit,
That's
there's no
right.
autistic
I'm
kids
never
here.
gonna let that go because that is the single dumbest thing in any film I've ever seen. Fuck you, Shane Black. You
That's
at
the
least
dumbest
try.
thing in anything.
The Predators thinking that autism is the next step in human evolution is the dumbest thing. And
Yeah.
I've seen some dumb shit.
Shane Black, I love you, but what are you thinking?
You must
What
try,
happened?
Shane Black. Try.
Try.
I'm glad they focused on that romance only for him to be alone during the big reveal.
Because she's captured. He's got to rescue the damsel in distress.
Oh, I think I
Stop the
missed
bad
the
guy.
scene where she got captured because it went from them to the car to him like sneaking in. So I think I missed whatever happened in between.
Yeah, she got captured by robots.
Roberts.
I love Colin Cochran's charisma. He's just so excited. He's like, look what I did. It's awesome.
Look at all my
I
cool
really
little
need to hear
toys.
Quentin Tarantino's thoughts on this movie.
It's a movie that was directed by Colin Cochran, okay? All right.
I don't know if you guys saw, but apparently he loved Joker 2.
Oh, I saw.
Yeah.
But he refuses to watch the new Dune movies.
I saw, yeah. Oh, Quentin.
Weird
Quentin.
take from a professed movie lover.
I guess I should have mentioned this during the commentary. He prefers the Psycho remake over the original Psycho.
Oh, you should have mentioned it there.
What?
That's
Why?
crazy.
Oh.
Because, man, it's interesting. It's about
You know what?
Death of the author.
That's totally something Quentin Tarantino would say. I buy that.
Oh my god,
100%.
that might be
That doesn't
the
faze me
worst
at all.
take.
That doesn't
we
faze me at
we
all.
love Quentin. He makes great movies.
How does this man make movies as good as he does? He has shit taste. Draymond, speaking of weird colored blood, remember in Halloween 6 when Michael starts oozing green
Yep.
blood out of his face after Paul Rudd beats him with a pipe? Noah remembers.
I remember. Yeah, I've seen
that
that.
Wait, where
movie.
did you leave off? If you've seen 4, I know you.
I wasn't really. I don't think I was going in order. I was just kind of like, oh, I haven't seen this one. I'll watch that. So I watched this and 5, but I don't think I got that far.
Because we did 4 together.
We did 4 together. Oh, I watched Resurrection too as
You
well.
watched Resurrection. I know you've seen H2O.
I'd already seen H2O before, so
Is
I didn't
6
rewatch
and
that.
Zombie's second movie the only ones you haven't seen?
Yeah, those are the only 2.
We got to do a double feature.
Nope.
Yeah, those are some big blind spots in your
Oh yeah.
rental movie
You
library.
gotta finish. You got 2 movies left.
You know, I haven't seen Gone with the Wind, Ben-Hur, but I really got to watch that Halloween 6.
I don't give a shit about Gone with the Wind or Ben-Hur.
I know you don't.
Ben-Hur is great.
I'm sure it is. I just don't care.
You can do that for the original and remake.
Oh God, good.
I'm not loving the set design.
It's great. It's very tacky and weird.
Draven, question is, which cut of 6 do you watch? Both.
Yeah, no, it has to see both.
He has to get the full experience. So we'll watch 6, then the 6 producers cut, and then we'll do 6, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and then the 6 producers cut. Just to keep it.
And the director's cut of
and then
Halloween
the director's cut of 2.
No, the producer's cut of 6 is better only in that it doesn't have the shitty editing and fake jump scare sound effects.
The greatest reveal in the entire franchise.
Oh, God. It's so bad, but it's at least a story.
So, Noah, if you don't know, that whole he knocked up his niece is only in the producer's cut.
Oh. That was the thing. Because people say the producer's cut is better, but that's where that comes from.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably better just in that it's coherent.
Right.
The theatrical cut of 6 is incoherent.
It just doesn't explain it.
No, so in the theatrical cut of 6, she has the baby, and then this baby is really important for some reason. Oh, hold on. Are we at the scene?
We're at the scene.
Oh yeah.
It's time.
Everybody, put on your mask and watch the TV.
Oh, I left my mask.
I love how we both picked the pumpkin one. And
That's the
puts
one
it
in the scene. Yeah.
My
I mean, it's
face! Give me
it's
back
pretty
my
iconic.
face.
Give me back my face.
I'm sure this also turned off a lot of people and critics when this came out. That went too far.
They
That was
killed a
mean spirited.
child.
Can't do
Clutches
that in a
Pearl.
movie. Singular.
She clutches
Clutches
one pearl.
But anyway,
He's fine. Oh.
He just ate some bad food.
This is a scene where if you show this to a child, like, it will be genuinely scary. This is fucking insane.
You don't find it scary as an adult? This is pretty disturbing.
No, this is
it's
messed
funny.
up.
This is funny.
MG Loco, I had a mean customer today, so I called her Season of the Bitch.
Oh.
But anyway, no, yeah. So this baby is like really important in the theatrical cut, but you don't know why, and they never explain.
Oh.
So then in the producer's cut, there is, I think it's a line. Oh, and Jamie just disappears.
Oh.
So keep in mind, the niece that he knocked up is Daniel Lloyd's character from the first two.
Yeah.
She just disappears in the theatrical cut, I think.
Did you say Daniel Lloyd?
Daniel
Harris.
Daniel Harris?
Yeah.
Daniel Harris as Jamie Lloyd.
I do that
Combined
sometimes.
them.
I don't know why. Anyway. I think it's in the producer's cut she lives. And Donald Pleasance is the one that figures it out, like, oh, it's your baby, Michael. And everybody's like, ugh.
Everybody's like, Michael, what the fuck?
She lives longer in the producer's cut. She just dies a different way. Happens later. But it's because they find her and she's like in a hospital, which is why Loomis is there. And then the theatrical cut, she's already dead, and then Loomis is just in a hospital for no reason. There's just scenes like that that just have no explanation.
Either way, memes aside, it really is just a disgusting way to treat that character.
Yep. In both cuts, like they both.
Here's our important final girl from the last two movies. She got kidnapped and raised by this cult to get knocked out.
Yep. But also a thing this movie gets a lot of credit for is that more than like almost any Michael Myers Halloween sequel, this just has so much Halloween atmosphere. Just all the costumes, all the deck. Like that's the big thing. One of the big things this has going for just visually.
Halloween. That is Halloween atmosphere.
Why do we keep talking about 6?
Draven, and the Man in Black wants Loomis to take his place, even though Loomis is way older.
Yes, I don't know why.
I love the shot with the Phoenix one where it's like the orange sky.
Yes,
that looks
gorgeous,
beautiful,
so good.
It's almost like we didn't shoot this in summer.
No, I mean that's the poster as well.
Yeah,
kinda.
Yeah, I love the atmosphere of this movie.
Last thing I want to say on 6 real quick. To be fair, though, it does have the greatest like Loomis scream at the end, and I think it's better in the theatrical cut because you don't know why he's screaming because they don't explain it. The movie just ends on him screaming.
And then it says in memory of Donald Pleasance.
Yeah.
Perfect comedic timing. I don't think I've seen that clip of him screaming.
Oh God!
Because I know when we're done, I will find it to send it to you, and you have to look at it before we leave.
I'll have to watch that because I remember the one that I always think of is the one at the end of 4.
I mean,
like, no,
that is the greatest like Loomis scene.
No,
I've discovered he's just my favorite character in any of those movies. I don't care how bad they get. I can watch at least the Loomis scenes.
Loomis is great.
You can't not love Dr. Sam Loomis.
And I like Malcolm McDowell as
yeah, he's good casting.
Lewis, at least in that first one. I don't like what they do with him in two.
So, John, you said that the Terminator is a slasher movie, but this isn't. But this has like multiple Terminators. Like, does that make it
Yeah.
not a slasher movie?
No, because there's not really a final girl.
Curious.
And like they're not killing people for
So, Tom Atkins is the final boy.
I think you're stretching here, Robert.
Even on Halloween 5 when he's completely off his rock. I mean, that's the best Loomis. It's just when he's
That's the
completely
best.
insane.
He is at an 11 that entire movie.
He's so mad at Daniel Harris.
I mean, she did kill someone.
No,
I
she
would
just
be
injured her
fascinated to see what
stepmom.
Halloween looks like if they actually follow up on any of the endings to their last movie.
Yeah, it's tradition at this point.
So they did not cut away from that fast enough. That drill clearly was not going towards her head.
I'm slightly behind. I just got to that.
What are you watching this on, by the way? Both of you.
Prime.
I'm on Peacock.
Technically AMC Plus with Prime.
I love AMC Plus. Not even ironically, like you get all of unironically, you get Shudder and everything included with it.
No, I mean they have a pretty good selection of movies, especially for the Halloween season.
I love this interrogation scene. Why are you doing this? Do I need a reason? Yeah, it's a good point.
Really
it's up there with.
Okay,
sorry, I had a brain fart.
Thanksgiving. You know what that means? We got
Thanksgiving.
You guys can have fun with those.
Well, and I'm taking a break, so that means you got to be there, Robert.
I'd rather do a commentary on Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. I'll do that over Thanksgiving.
I like that movie. Right, I enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah.
Robert, you don't like Thanksgiving?
I'm not interested.
You're not interested in Thanksgiving 3?
God. What about 2?
There is no Thanksgiving 2.
3 is about 2.
No, sorry. Thanksgiving 2 exists in the universe of Thanksgiving 3, and the turkey is trying to find it. I never
so it's a trilogy.
A movie that Robert just like flat out refuses to watch.
It's weird that he draws the line at Thanksgiving of all things.
But he made us watch Psycho 98.
No. Yeah, fuck you, Robert. Watch Thanksgiving.
No, we can try to fit in Thanksgiving for that. Thanksgiving.
Is there any more Thanksgiving horror movies, or is it just those two?
Those 3 are the only ones that I can think of. If you count Thanksgiving 3. I don't really like 3. 1 is alright for what it is.
I mean, Thanksgiving isn't that popular of a holiday to make movies off of, to be fair.
No, but we almost have the complete holiday slasher movie cinematic universe. So you got April Fool's Day, you've got Halloween, you got Thanksgiving, Black Christmas, Friday the 13th. Did I say Halloween?
Harbor Day.
Is there a Harbor? What?
No.
What?
I think we hit all the big holidays.
Life Day.
I don't know if there's
a
good Easter horror movie. I'm sure there's some shitty ones, but I don't know if there's a good one.
What are you talking about? The Easter Bunny horror movie was peak cinema.
Did you say My Bloody Valentine?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, My Bloody Valentine.
He's watching Halloween again.
Do you guys know
I do
made April Fool's Day?
Yeah, but I haven't seen either version.
Draven, I love how he spends all this time in that movie terrorizing kids at a clinic. Just lets him do it.
I do like how when he turns on the Halloween movie, the score goes to the scene you're watching.
I forgot that it showed up a second time in this movie. I just remembered the trailer
Yeah.
earlier.
It's set up and payoff. They showed a thing and
Very
then they brought it back.
clever.
Okay, now my action movie senses are kicking back in.
It's funny too because this the old man is playing it more like he does in RoboCop 2, where in that one he
Yes.
is more just straight up a bad guy, whereas in one it's kind of ambiguous. I've heard people complain about that. It never bothered me.
Props to him for making that shot. That's impressive.
It's no Sigourney Weaver, but you know.
Maybe you'll change your mind when he has to undress to his panties and get in his space suit.
I don't think I will.
Yeah. And they censor that
Are
scene.
you guys ready to do an Alien Romulus commentary when that comes to Hulu?
Yeah, sure. Does that have a date?
Probably not, but it's hit VOD. Zod.
Also, this I don't know if this is intentional. This also has like some Doctor No vibes with crawling through the vents and then having to destroy this evil
Hunter's
lair.
pointed
This
that
is
out.
the basic.
before.
This is gonna be basic bitch moment. I'm just thinking of Die Hard.
Oh,
Of
sure.
course. Or remember that part where Tom Atkins goes, "We get together,
Sure.
have a few laughs."
Yeah.
Die Hard can
Visit
also
the
be in this
mask-
universe.
Visit the mask factory. It'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
The best Christmas movie.
Not even a debate.
Although it was weird when Noah tried to convince us that Die Hard 2 is better than the first one.
I
No.
never said that. It is arguably more Christmassy though, because there's snow in it. There's no snow in the first one.
No, but there
'Cause
is a
it's in
Christmas
LA.
tree in the first one. So fuck you.
Yeah, but
That's more Christmassy.
it snows during Christmas, so
Also, so I love that for all the Halloween
Does it
talk,
snow in Bethlehem, Noah?
oh,
I love that for
We
all
gotta
the
put
like
the
Christ back.
Halloween vibe and talk in this. Their symbol is a giant three-leaf clover.
St. Patty's
Wait
Day.
a minute.
Oh my God, Leprechaun's
The
connected
leprechaun.
too.
No, yeah, because Colonel Cochrane's Irish. That's like part of his backstory.
Yeah, he's. I figured it out. He's the leprechaun's dad.
Gotcha.
His dad.
No.
Can he be his son?
Paul,
How long
Just
has
from
Warwick
that
Davis?
reaction that Noah had, no, it has to be the way it is.
My boy is out killing people again.
Oh,
He must
it's
be so
crazy
proud
that
of his
we have
son.
a St. Patrick's Day horror franchise, but not one quality
Yeah.
Easter holiday slasher.
That is pretty
Really?
funny.
It's true.
I want Cochrane to be like, "Oh, I'm so proud of my son. He became a werewolf. He went to space. He became a giant midget."
This is one of my favorite scenes where it pays off him being a shitty ex-husband this whole movie, blowing off his wife and his kids. So now when he tries to call her, it's like the kids are in danger and I need help. She's like, "Fuck you," like you're drunk, and he's so panicked. It's great. He's like, "Oh shit, I've made mistakes. I've made
So I
several
typed in
mistakes."
Easter horror movies, and Passion of the Christ came up.
I mean, maybe Passion of the Christ too. That's an action movie.
Yeah, it counts.
I am shocked that there's no like shitty like asylum level horror movie where Jesus.
There's gotta be.
I refuse to believe that there isn't.
That's why we're gonna make you watch it.
No.
8:26. I think the problem with this movie for me is, yeah, it does get crazy. I don't care about any of these people. Like, it needs like a Loomis or a Laurie Strode that I can kind of get behind.
I have that too, yeah. I'm with you on that. I mean, like, Tom Atkins is okay.
And it's impressive because I've always argued I don't know a lot about Laurie Strode in that first Halloween movie either. I somehow know less about Tom Atkins in this movie.
He likes beer. He's a shitty ex-husband. He doesn't care about his kids much. Like, he's a womanizer. I think
He's
it's
Homer
plenty of
Simpson?
development. Yeah.
Except for the womanizer part.
That's fair.
And
Can we
also,
please have a shot of him choking his son, like with Bart?
also, you guys don't care about Colin Cochran? Like, I can't relate to you. What's up with that?
He's fun to watch, but I don't give a shit about him.
He's
as a
the
character.
hero of the movie.
I think you care about him a little too much.
This is the
I think that's
fucking
ridiculous.
projectionist all over again.
I mean, the projectionist is alright, but he's no Colin Cochran.
This is arguably worse because the projectionist is just the guy. Robert's defending a mass murder of children.
Those children probably deserve it.
See, there you go. He's an entrepreneur, you know, he's a good businessman. What more do you guys want?
I see. You want to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs, huh?
I half expected you to add like a bada bing at the end of that.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Hey, you know, and also overpopulation's an issue. Just saying. Just throwing it out there.
I feel like
Are you
I
a
could say
fan of
something really like off key? But I probably shouldn't. Maybe after
I think
the stream.
Robert, you're a big fan of Samuel L. Jackson's character in Kingsman, then, right? You defend
That's a movie
him.
I haven't seen in a while.
It's great.
Yeah. My hot take of the year is Argyle was not that bad.
And I still haven't seen it. Thanks for reminding me it exists.
It's kind of unfortunate that much better movies have come out this year. Did you guys know at the end Cochran's head was supposed to turn into a pumpkin? That would have been amazing.
I wish that happened.
So the only downside with this is the song on YouTube. All of them just straight up rip the TV version off, or what's on the TVs, including the flashing. So I'm like scared to send it to people because that could be really.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's an element that hasn't aged great.
I wish somebody would just put it up with like a static image. What did they dump on them?
It's the buttons.
He looks so confused. Like, what?
My plan.
Yeah. They're spitting applesauce out of their mouths.
You meddling kids. Wait a minute. This is kind of like an episode of Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo could be in this universe.
Scooby-Doo's in this universe.
Definitely. And we already said Batman was in this universe, so there you go.
There you go. Oh my god.
No, the only thing Conal Cochran's missing is he needs his own Smithers. Because he's just the Mr. Burns of this movie.
He's totally Mr. Burns.
Now I really need those like shitty puppet hands from Jason Goes to Hell to pop out of that white lid.
Although Conal Cochran does kind of have his own Smithers in the RoboCop movies.
Yeah, just get Ronnie Cox. Like that would have been a perfect duo for this.
I love this effect so much. He looks so happy. I don't know what's happening. I just know I'm sad that he's gone.
Don't be sad that he's gone. Be happy that he existed in the first place.
At least he went out on his own terms.
He went out with a bang.
Oh my god, California's on fire. Oh wait, that's normal.
I was gonna say, you
Robert,
just
as
look
somebody
at
that lives in California, can you confirm?
just look out your window. That's what it looks like.
It's true. Well, at least our heroes are home free.
Unless.
Oh my god.
So is it weird that she waited until this moment to do this?
Yes.
Yes.
That's convenient.
So I think the idea was she's captured, maybe killed, and then they make a robot duplicate of her that he rescues. That they must have just made in an extremely short amount of time.
Yeah. And for some reason, she doesn't turn on him until they left and he or destroyed all the other robots.
It took this long for it to kick in. Like, wait a minute.
Wait, I remember my programming.
It's fine. It's a backup.
It's just
Well, see, actually, we just answered our own question. That it's a rushed robot. That's why it takes so long for that to process that.
well, in another version of this movie, typically the twist would be, oh no, she was in on it the whole time. She was a bad guy. But then everything really falls apart if you do that. So I don't know how you make that work.
No, it's funny you mentioned that because I was just thinking of Austin Powers does that like in the beginning of the second movie,
Yeah.
I think.
That's true.
And I hate that twist.
It's
If you're
silly
gonna write her
though.
out of the movie, just write her out of the movie.
Those aren't serious movies though. They're
No,
farces.
they're not. Just, I don't like that trope. So this character you like wasn't real.
Whatever.
Oh my god, it's Evil Dead 2 all of a sudden.
No, that's tomorrow's movie.
Robert, are you excited to finally see Hausu?
Yeah, I know nothing about it, so I'm curious.
No, it looks like he's got like PTSD just from the mention of it.
I'm just thinking about some of the scenes that Robert's gonna see for the first time.
On my first viewing of this, I think I thought like, are the robots too much?
Why
Maybe
is
we
this
should
still going?
that.
We're
But
almost over.
now I love all of it now though. It's so goofy. Like I like the robot stuff. It's just like, yeah, it's not particularly terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know what this movie wants to be.
It's just a silly Halloween fair. Now, and in hindsight, since we didn't go the anthology route with this franchise, I do kind of appreciate that just everything in the kitchen sink is thrown into this, where it's just so wacky and out there that they just went for it.
Yeah, I appreciate that too.
This is very classic. This ending.
Yeah, this inning's great.
I'm just watching it. It's just such a great ending.
Please stand by. Turn it off, please,
I love
God,
how
turn
this
it off.
ended.
Yeah, no, this is the best scene of the movie. This and the big death, like they're the best scenes of the movie.
Yeah, that ending
Stop
is
it.
very. I know Carpenter didn't direct this, but it feels very Carpenter.
And the original plan was instead of music during the end credits, it would just be the screaming of millions of children.
That's
And
amazing.
someone higher up said maybe that's going too far. Let's
What-
just
that-
let's keep it more ambiguous.
That's really how they were gonna end it. That is probably going a little too far.
I love how much this movie just hates kids.
Yeah. Yeah, you keep saying how this would be a good kid horror movie to watch. I disagree. This movie hates kids.
Yeah, because scary.
It's
Yeah.
spooky.
Yeah, because it ends on a very ominous, ambiguous note, but that would have been way more hardcore. But I know the book. This is one of those like novelizations where in the book it's like, and then millions of children screamed and died across their. Like the book ending is more explicit.
It's a weird thing to adapt in novel form if that's looking at the original ending.
Speaking of novels, Terrifier 2 novel. I don't know how you turn that into a novel.
I don't either. It's gotta have extra lore in it.
Is that happening?
I just said the Terrifier 2 novel is out.
100 pages should just be the bedroom scene.
Yes.
No.
No.
Noah just turned into Loomis. No.
No. But yeah, that was Halloween 3. A fun, weird movie.
Okay, so I disagree with myself. I went 3.5 previously. I didn't have a worse viewing with this, so I'm sticking at 3.5. Not that we're doing ratings for these commentaries, but I just thought I'd throw that out there.
It's the ending does a lot for it. It ends on a really strong note.
Turn it off. Anyway, we are gonna get going because Robert's on a time crunch. We will be back tomorrow with Evil Dead 2 and House, which is we're doing that shortly because Robert has never seen it. Apparently, he lives under a rock. No, I'm just kidding. I feel kind of obscure movie at this point.
I never even heard of it until like a year ago.
What's that? Sorry, the Halloween music is playing. I was kind of listening to that.
I was like, I feel like House is kind of obscure. You gonna chip in there, Noah? And you're just like, what?
I think for the most part, it's obscure. I think it's more well known among like film bros, for lack of a better term, people who know the Criterion Collection.
Yeah. But anyway, we will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Halloween.
Have a good night.